What is going on, guys? Dark Gaming here, and I don't know about you, but I personally do not like the Nox unit. They're a pain in the buttocks, and I feel like they're unnecessarily tanky. Let's rant about that. It's been a while since we did a Let's Rant video, and I figured that the Nox would be a pretty good topic to talk about. And don't forget that in Let's Rant, I rant about a subject in a game that I want to talk about, and I want your opinions in the comment section down below. This is a discussion video that you get to join in. So, before we start, let me just point a couple of things out. The gameplay that you'll see in the background is me using Wukong and a Galatine Prime on an enemy elemental enhancement Grenier survival sortie on Lua. It was a sortie 2, so enemies will be around level 80 to 90, I believe. That's how sortie 2 works. I'm basically running numbers on the top of my head here. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, another thing that I need to mention. There's a video linked in the description down below. I'd suggest you go watch it, because after you watch it, you will never see Wukong again, the same way that you're currently looking at him. Anyway, after saying that out, let's rant a little bit about our friend here, Nox, which is an unsurprisingly very tanky and annoying as hell unit in the Grenier arsenal, which thank God does not exist as a corrupted version, because if it did, I'd probably switch to Corpus and Corpus alone, because Infested are a bit of a pain in the ass unless you've got an invisible frame, and Grenier are really annoying right now with Nox and all of their heavy armor units. But anyway, first thing that you will notice after going up against the Nox is the fact that they are resistant to DOT effects. So damage over time does not work on these damn assholes, and I don't know why, or rather, do I? Because as you're clearly seeing here, they have 50 more health than a Bombard or Heavy Gunner, because a Bombard and Heavy Gunner have a identical amount of health and armor. It's just that Bombards usually have alloy armor, while Heavy Gunners have ferrite armor. And of course, the tankiest of tanky units in the Grenier arsenal, the Napalm, which has 600 health, he's still the tankiest of the tanky when compared to a Nox. And here is a finisher damage test on a Warden Xmas, a Bombard, and a Bombard Xmas, as well as a Nox. The Bombard is our baseline because finisher damage is non-resisted, and XMI, which resist damage, are kind of go around for Nox, and Wardens are just there because they get more damage by finishers, so I just put them in the test. And as you can clearly see here, something is going terribly wrong, because this Nox is a pain in the buttocks. Sorry, that was a bad pun, I should have figured. So, what is happening? Because clearly that Nox took a lot of finisher strikes, and by the way, that Fragor is going to be showcased in another video, so if you're worried about the build, it will be in a different video in and of itself. And with that build, I get to basically one-shot any enemy in the game. I am quite serious here. As long as I can do a finisher on them, I'm pretty certain that I can more or less execute them with a single strike on that Fragor build, because it deals around 1 million damage. Yeah, 1 million damage is a lot, especially when you consider that it reaches said number on just the measly 2x multiplier. So yeah, that's a pretty decent build. But obviously that Nox didn't take 1 million damage. Instead, they took 10,000 damage. So, what's going on here? Well, there's a reason as to why I used the finisher test in order to demonstrate how tanky a Nox can be. The reason being that Nox, similar to how Wardens have finisher multipliers, so do Nox. As a matter of fact, Nox have damage multipliers similar to Eximus units. And trust me when I say, they are not kind with their damage multipliers. Wardens, no matter what type of warden it is, they have a modifier that increases the finisher damage that they take, which is why you can see numbers like those that you saw in the clip that I showed you, which is 8 million. That's a lot of damage. And on the contrary, the same exact weapon with the same exact build on a higher combo multiplier got a measly 10,000 damage on a Nox. So, yeah. What is happening here is Nox units have body parts that basically resist damage, and those body parts are quite literally all of them. So all of the Nox body parts take reduced damage, so all of the damage that you would otherwise deal on a Nox unit is reduced, and since they resist DOTs, it's kind of a pain to take these guys down, because you can't bleed them to death, and the only way to really kill them is by breaking their helmet and going for the head, which with a melee weapon is kind of difficult, to say the least. So these guys are clearly way too tanky, if you want my opinion. Nox are incredibly tanky not because of the fact that they have a hell of a lot of health or a hell of a lot of armor, but because they have damage gating, which reduces the overall amount of damage that they take on basically any type of attack. It doesn't matter what attack it is, as long as you're attacking that Nox unit, it's gonna take less damage. And I'm pretty certain that even goes for the head, even though the head does have a 2x multiplier, but I'm not certain that is true, because it still takes a crap load of shots to kill a Nox, even if you're shooting them square in the head. So, what do I think about Nox units, and why do I think they are the way they are? Nox units, in my opinion, are overly tanky. I'm not gonna lie. They are too tanky, especially if you get to higher levels. At lower levels, you can kind of make do because you're dealing enough damage to the point that their damage gates aren't actually going to just reduce your damage to oblivion. So you're still doing enough damage to the point where you could probably kill them with ease, especially with finishers, but they're still resisting your damage to the point where they really get annoying to try and kill. And later on, when you get to levels like level 80, level 100, level 150, they get overly tanky because their health is a lot higher, their armor is pretty high as well, and they have damage gates, which means that you're dealing reduced damage on an enemy that can reduce the damage that you deal on them with armor. So yeah, it's basically reduction city here because you deal so much less damage than what you would have actually done. And the reason that I think that Nox units are the way that they are is because of Eidolons. With Planes of Eidolon coming soon, and the fact that Nox units have been in the game for like 2 to 3 months so far, I'm pretty certain that they were a test to test out damage gates, because I'm pretty certain that giant bosses like Eidolons are going to have damage gates. So they tried to implement damage gates in the game beforehand just to see what they were like, and voila, we got the Nox unit. But then again, I may be wrong, and yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyway guys, that is all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like. If you didn't, please do give it a dislike. And if you enjoyed it that much that you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. It's the best way for you to keep up with the videos that I'll be uploading. Thanks for watching guys. Go out there and kill some Nox, and I will see you in the next video.